And welcome back again. This is Iron Sharpen Iron, Men at the Round Table. I am your host, Minister Kevin Britt. Um, it is awesome. I am so overwhelmed that we are back. We are back. We had a layoff there.
Yes, sir.
And when you have a layoff, it's like, vacation time, but it can become relaxing and to get back into the swing and the mood of things. So I think the Most High God and the Holy Spirit for keeping and covering us.
Yes, sir.
My host that normally sits with his brother is down monitoring to the monitor today, but Pastor Eric Zettler, that's my brother, my big brother. I love him to life. I just tell you, God puts people not just to nurture your ministry,
Right.
but to nurture your walk.
That's right.
And when the walk is supposed to be lined up with God, you can't go wrong.
That's right.
And oh man, it's awesome to meet you, Pastor Uric.
Yes, sir.
First time meeting you,
Yes, sir.
awesome
Thank you
man
so
of God,
much.
and
Yeah, it's great meeting
love
you as
having
well.
you. Yeah, God
Yes, sir.
bless
Thank you
you.
for having me.
How was the drive down?
Oh, it was smooth. It was straight. It was a pretty straight shot.
I'm
was a
glad
pretty
it was
straight,
for you
which was
because
a
it
good
wasn't
thing.
for me.
Well, one of us had to be smooth move for one of us, right?
I tell you.
Right.
But through it all,
That's right.
we got here safe and sound.
Amen. Amen.
And so I thank God for that.
Amen.
My lovely wife and all those that drove with us. Today's topic, for those that are out there in TV land that are watching live, those that are on live screen, today's topic, we're going to talk about fatherhood.
That's a good one.
Father's Day.
It's a good one. Come
What
on.
does Father's Day really mean to us?
Yes, sir.
Because now Father's Day doesn't mean just because we bear a kid, a kid is in our life, because it takes much more to just be a father.
Exactly.
But when you come into a family that's already there, how do you reverence the contract of trying to set the foundation for the family that's already there?
That's a big
Because they have their rules already.
Right.
You're a newcomer. We're newcomers. So now that we're coming in, how do we adjust ourselves to the already made family?
You jumped right in early. That's
Oh
it.
yeah, I get right in there. That's
that.
how I learned how to swim. I just jumped right into the water, just
Sink or swim. You're gonna do something, right? But no, I think that's excellent, and I think it's such a good question because what's very interesting, and again, God has a way of doing things. Like I was just saying right before we started that I was actually just kind of teaching on this past Sunday. So we were speaking about the proper order of the family. So I think whatever situation that one would find themselves in or that they would come into, it's all about the proper order, God's proper order. So starting off with putting God first,
Yes, sir.
above all. So regardless, whatever order there was previously, or disorder, or chaos, or starting off with God first, I think moving next is that marriage relationship.
Yes.
Is number two, and I think number three, then the children, if there are any,
Yes.
and then next up is the church family, and then underneath that is work.
See,
falls underneath that,
and I like that. I love that. Now, when you talk about the structure
Yes.
of the parents,
Sure.
see, I grew up in a household. It was just mother, and mother was mother, father,
Sure.
brother.
Sure.
But I had two sisters, and mother left when I was 13. So now the structure of showing me how to become this man that I'm supposed to be or designed to be in life,
Yep.
it's not there. Now, mother can take me to a certain level.
Yep.
She can take me to a certain degree. But now where does the real lesson comes in as a man?
That's good.
To teach me
That's good stuff.
this is how you stand. This
Yes,
is
sir.
how you treat a woman.
That's right.
This is how you talk to a lady.
Yep.
But then this is how you present yourself when the time comes and say, will you marry me?
That's right.
Because everybody can say, will you marry me? But then the real test is, how do I stand when the storm is raging?
And it's going to come.
It's going to come. Oh, trust me, it's coming.
That's right. That's
See,
right.
it's just like that tree they talk about in the Word. It talks about the tree planted by the rivers of water. And the tree, it waves. It goes back and forth.
Yes, sir.
But now the thing is, it doesn't break. It stands the winds. It stands the storm because God said, I'm here. Me and Pastor Eric talks about this all the time. I love Psalms 46:10. It says, to be still and know that I'm God.
That's right.
And where does the trust come in? Because if I don't trust him, if I don't believe that he can do what he said that he can do, then where's my faith?
That's right.
But now with the kids, because the kids going to put their faith in you that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. You love my mother.
Right.
You say you love us. But now we are out of control because we were not taught how to behave.
I think that's good. So it made me think of two things. Number one, the old school toy, weebles wobble, but they don't fall down, right? And the second thing it made me think of is, again, we were talking about that order, right? This is where I think the church family comes in, and it's critical. Because, again, all children, everyone here we're looking for some type of structure. We're looking for some type of order. So, again, if we're putting God first, and even if for some reason there was not a man in the household, those men of the house, of the church family, should be able to step in and help to assist to fill in that gap. Because if not, what is the child going to do? They're going to find it out in the street. They're going to find it some type of warped sense in school. They're going to find it in the arms of some. Like, they're going to try to find that belonging, find out all these things from all these other places that don't have a biblical backing of how God really ordained things to be. So again, in the absence of a father, I believe that's where the church family needs to step in and fill in that gap wherever that they can. Because they're going to find it somewhere.
Yeah.
They're looking for it. So if someone doesn't say, hey, come on, hey, I'm taking my kids to the game, so you're coming with us. Or we're going, we're going to the movie. We're all going, or, this is what you do. So what, and again, I grew up with both my mother and my father, but my father grew up with, again, in a single parent household. His mother was 15 when she had him. So I remember I used to ask, I'm like, well, how did you end up being a great father without a father figure? I literally asked him. I was like, how did you do that? In his whole life, he didn't have a father. He said he didn't really figure out how to be a father until he got older, and God saved him, and he actually began being around other individuals in the church where he was able to see what a true father was. He actually sat and ate dinner with me. He was like, I didn't really know that you sat and ate dinner with your family around the table. I didn't know that, you could have a Bible study, during family time and things like that. So again, I think seeing it, for those children to be able to see it, and even if it's not present, us reaching out as church family members is key and critical.
Now, awesome, great, understanding. But what about the kids who doesn't reverence the church? See, because you have that group that says, okay, because you believe, Daddy, because you believe, Mother, why must I plant myself on the belief that what y'all believe in? I may not believe that. I may not want to be in there.
Right.
So how do one put himself in a place of understanding and say, no matter where you are, my prayer for you is that God meet you where you are.
That's huge.
Meet you where you are, because if he descends himself and meets you wherever you are in your life, there's a chance that you will grow into the grace of the Most High.
That's right. I think, and again, I don't think it can be overstated, the need of prayer. Some people are like, oh, you're just talking and bounce off. No. Prayer works.
That's right.
Number one. Also, I think what goes along with that is, again, stating what those standards are at the beginning. So again, the Bible talks about teaching children when they're young. You teach them when they're young. Again, they won't depart from that word later on. So I think that's a part of it. Now, again, does anyone always have the right to choose and do whatever they want to do? Of course they do. Again, prodigal son, all these things like that. But again, the standard is there. Again, I even have conversations with individuals because, sometimes you'll have our parents that will say, well, I really don't want to force my child to come to church because I want them to, kind of come on their own. I'm like, well, do you force your children to go to school? Do you force them to go to school? Well, you say, oh, you don't really feel like going to school today, so, I'm just going to let you go ahead and sleep this one off 2, 3, 4 days in a row. You'll say, no. I understand that going to school is going to help you later on.
That's
I don't
right.
care that you want to
right.
go.
That's
You're
right.
going to get up out of this house. You're going to go.
That's right.
So
That's
in the
right.
same way, and again, I believe the Bible says this as well, speaking the truth in love.
Yes.
So it's not us lording it over, I'm bigger than you, I'm tougher than you, so you're, no. It's not going to work like that because they'll go, and again, that's where the resentment comes in.
That's why they say the prayer of the righteous availeth much.
Correct.
See?
Correct.
And a man should pray without ceasing.
That's right.
I don't think I need, it's great that husband and wife pray together.
That's right.
Because when you pray together, you're going to stay together.
That's right.
Because the covering of the Most High God is there. Now, here's the other
Yes, sir.
understanding
Yes, sir.
is, man, look at this. Look at daddy and mommy praying.
Mm.
There's something going to catch that. It's going to catch them
Big.
and say, Daddy, do you mind if I come with y'all and pray with y'all? Because one attraction will attract the other.
You're exactly right.
And then before you know it, the whole family is praying together.
That's right.
So a family that prays together stays together.
You're exactly right. And I also like to say it like this. More is caught than what is taught. Again, you can always tell someone, well, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, and they see you doing the exact other.
Yeah.
They may not tell you to your face that you're a hypocrite.
Yeah.
But they can see it. So even if they're not verbalizing it, they're seeing what that interaction looks like. They're seeing what we're doing, and at some point they'll begin emulating it because they're still spending the majority of their time in our home. The same way if they were spending the majority of their time somewhere else. Yes. I remember being in college, I would hang around. A lot of my friends were from the South. I'm from Philadelphia. Okay. So I have this East Coast
Philly
accent,
man,
right?
Philly.
So I say water and some things like that. So I remember coming home, and my buddies were like, why you sound like you have like a down south accent? Because I was hanging with a bunch of down south guys. So in the same way, they're just picking up, I'm picking up their accent. So in the same way, our children in our home, they're going to start catching stuff, whether they want to or whether they don't. But then I think the key is, what are they catching? Are they catching the word, or are they catching a bunch of fussing and fighting and disharmony and chaos? Because they will begin having children of their own and emulate the same thing.
See, the kids today of this society are different from when we were coming up. I didn't have a choice. Let's go. We're going. And you had to be in church.
Yeah.
And if you got in church and you start fidgeting around and moving around and all this and that, you got popped.
Right.
and it wasn't a thing where you weren't going to go. You going or get beat. Now, which one you want to do?
Right.
I'm going.
Right.
And I remember telling my mom, I said, Mom, I can't wait till I grow up. I'm not going to church no more because that's how much I went.
Sure.
But it came a time, Pastor Yuri. It came a time in my life. They said, there's going to come a time when you're going to call on the Lord. And it came that time in my life that I had to call on the Most High.
Yes, sir.
Because I ventured into other areas in my life that I thought I knew something about and didn't know anything. And thank God he covers us even though we don't even know that we're being covered.
Yep.
And I'm saying to myself, man, how did I get out of this? I said, Lord, if you get me out of this here, I won't do it again. And before I knew it, I was doing it again.
Yes, sir.
Now, the kids now, the reason why they don't enter into the church house is because they see so much stuff going on with us.
Yeah.
And when they see out of control behavior, they say, why should I enter into something that's already happening on the outside?
True.
So now, how do I get my kids? How do I get the neighbors' kids that's always out there uncontrollable to see the God in me? Because I'm going to tell you, we're human before we're spiritual.
Sure.
So there's going to come a moment in our life that something's going to touch us, and we're going to either flip or we gonna dip.
You're right.
One of the two.
Yeah, I think that's big though. But and personally, I believe that we have to be the church both inside of the walls as well as outside of the walls. I think that's a big piece of it.
It is.
Because I believe that sometimes what we'll do is we only want to hang out with church people and we only want to do church things. So we're like, oh no, those people across the street are my neighbor. I don't even
But
want to
it's
say
more
hi
to
to them.
life
I
than
don't even
that.
want, but they see that.
Yeah.
And they're like, why would I want to be with them? They don't even speak to me. So I think what 1,000-volt risk can we take? Can we get one of these kids a present for their birthday? Get them a car for their birthday. Can we get them something for Christmas? And we have one of these cool events. Hey, let me bring you a plate home. Let me do something small like that. And on top of the prayer, again, it reminds me of in the Bible, there were many times where Solomon did something or someone else did something, and it said, no, I'm doing this for the sake of my servant David. So it had nothing to do with that Solomon or someone else. It said, no, I made a promise to David. So in the same way, if God makes a promise to us and we're praying for the person across the street or the person down the road or something like that, guess what? God is covering them on behalf of us.
Yes.
So I think that's the key of it. Again, we have to get out of the building and act like we're not set apart, whereas we don't want to be around someone and we're untouchable. But I think people pick that up, and I think we're in an age right now that people can smell the phony on individuals and will tell you about yourself.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a big piece of it. But again, I think it starts with the church.
And
it's
does.
us. It's not. I don't think it's them at all.
No,
because
it
I think
has nothing to
people
do
are
with
people.
them.
Yeah,
No,
I think it's us.
starts
We
with
get
us.
our act together, and we can get our act together by these small 1,000-volt practical things. Because it's very easy to say, oh, we'll just pray for somebody. No. Do something. We can do something. We can go to somebody's game. Hey, you having a game? You play basketball, right? I'm gonna come to your game.
Yeah.
Because maybe their mother can't get off work to come to that game. And we come and we give them
Or
a high
can't
five
take 'em.
and we give them a high five after the
Yeah,
game. We say, hey, let me go get you some fries after the game.
Yeah.
Don't even get them a whole meal. Just give them some fries.
Yeah.
So I think that's little small things like that. And then we can say, hey, you know what? I'm praying for you.
But here's the biggest gift that we could give kids. Telling them that we love them in
huge.
spite of.
That's huge.
Because
That's huge.
even though they have flaws, I still love you.
Wow.
I know that you have this type of behavior going on, but I still love you unconditionally.
That's right.
I know that you got into this trouble and you had to do a bid, but I still love you. I know that you might have said some things that was out of character to me and your mother, but I still love you.
Yeah.
And I'm still praying for you. I'm still praying for you, but praying for your deliverance.
Heavy. Yes, sir.
Because somebody prayed for us.
That's right.
So Father's Day to me, regardless if I don't have the natural father,
Sure.
I got a spiritual father.
Yes, sir.
And my spiritual father has covered my life, and he's with me every walk of the way.
Yes, sir.
I always say, and when I'm texting, God continue to cover and guide my footsteps, because I don't want to get out of line or out of the character of you.
Yep.
Because once I lose Christ, I done lost it all.
That's right. I think that's big. And I think just what you were saying, using the specific words, I love you.
Yes.
Because I think as men, what we can do is, what do you mean? I'm paying the bills, right? You got lights on, right? I'm showing you I love you. You got food on your table, right? You got clothes, so you can and so we don't want to use those words. I remember specifically, I think I probably was like 13, maybe something like that. And my father, I think I was leaving the house or something like that, and he was like, yo, I love you. Remember, I looked at him like, all right. Because I had never heard, I don't ever remember him using those words before. And so then every time after that, he would just say it all the time. I remember I asked him, I was like, hey, you remember when you just said I love you one time? He was like, yeah. He was like, I actually went to this conference. And he was like, I noticed that I wouldn't say it. He was like, and I didn't say it because I didn't have a father that told me that. Right. And I didn't want to come across as soft. And But guess what? It changed the dynamic for me.
Pastor.
Just me
Hearing
hearing the words.
Yes, sir.
Because I knew he loved me. I
Yeah.
did. But me hearing that. So now guess what? My son, I'm telling him right away, hey, man, you
feel
know I
the
love
presence.
you,
I
right? You
feel
know I
the
love you,
presence
right?
of God.
I love you.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make me soft. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
what it does, it makes me more manly.
Yeah.
So in the same way, I think us being, again, stepping in and filling in the gap for those other individuals that don't have fathers, haven't grown up with fathers. Hey, man, you know I love you and I care about you. There's nothing that you can do that's going to make me stop loving you. You know that?
That's
You
right.
I can be disappointed. I can be disappointed and
Yeah.
I can be praying for you to change, but
We
that's
were
not going to stop me
disappointed
from
in
loving
people.
you. That's right. That doesn't stop me from loving you and
No,
caring about
but see,
you.
we were raised.
Yep.
Men were raised to not show weakness. We shouldn't cry,
Yep.
and we should be bold in our life in our home.
Yeah.
But who designed that? That's man made.
That's right.
Because I'm gonna tell you, if I need to cry, I'm gonna cry.
That's right.
It's coming out. I don't care
That's
where I
right.
am.
That's
It's
right.
coming out of me.
That's right.
And if I need to say I love you or I apologize or whatever it need to be, I'm going to do
That's
it.
right.
If I got to drop to my knees and say, God, here I am. I repent for whatever I need to.
That's right.
Here I am.
Yep.
Because in the last days, I want him to say to me, I can't speak for you, but I want him to look at me and say, you know what? In spite of all you've been through, all your trials and tribulations, I love you, son, and I'm going to open my gates to you. That's
Yes,
what
sir.
I want.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to get there and say, well, minister, I got some news for you. I love you, but I can't let you in. Do you know how devastating
Yeah.
that would be?
Yeah.
So it's just like kids. We say we love them, and we see them, they're hungry. We know that they need a change of clothes or whatever,
Yeah.
or wash. And you can't. I don't trust him. He can't come in my house.
Right,
'Cause
right.
I don't know what
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
gonna do.
Yes, sir.
But who are we? Because if God can forgive us
That's right.
and can open his doors to us, why can't we open it to these kids?
That's big.
Because they need us. Right now, kids are killing kids like a rabbit
Yep.
and don't care.
Yep.
We didn't do that stuff. Well, you know, when I was coming up, we had the little stick you had to put on your shoulder. So whoever knocked the stick off your shoulder, then we got busy.
Right,
And then once
right.
we finished fighting, we
Right.
shook hands. We were
Exactly.
friends again.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's different.
Right.
It's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
So, again, as men, as fathers, it starts home.
That's right. And I think that's big too. And we were talking about David a little bit. I think that biblical definition of manhood is key. So we see David was the manliest man, you know, killed Goliath and did all of these awesome things, right? But then on the flip side, when he did wrong, he's weeping, God, I'm sorry, right? Messes up, but still comes back. God says, what is it? He says, he's a man after my own heart. So I think that's where the true measure of manhood is. I think that's where some of that is. So I think just shifting that definition is key.
Look at Moses. Moses loved Joshua.
Yeah.
Joshua was his right-hand man. But Moses messed up because he killed somebody. And he couldn't take the people over to the River Jordan. And when he said he couldn't take them over to the River Jordan, the next one in line was Joshua.
Yeah.
So he said, Joshua, I appoint you to take the people over to the River Jordan.
Yes, sir.
And Sephora, which was Moses' wife, says, I'll go with you. He says, Sephora, I go alone. The Lord called me by myself. You can't go. That hurt her because that's her husband. She want to be with him. But when the Lord calls you, it's totally different.
Yeah.
So I thank you for being on the show today.
please,
My wife said, I know who you can interview tonight. I said, great. I was so excited to see you.
Well, thank you. It's a
And,
pleasure. It's a pleasure.
I definitely will love for you to come again.
Certainly.
We will definitely keep in contact
Certainly.
and change numbers and everything.
Yeah.
Definitely keep CTF TV in prayer
I sure will.
because God is doing marvelous and wonderful things
Yes,
here.
sir.
TV Land, I tell you, it's been great for me tonight. I'm so excited being back. I'm glad that you guys see that Minister Ritt is back and Pastor Uritt is here. I love his shoes. Listen, I compliment anybody. They got nice clothes and nice shoes and everything, you know. But again, this is CTF TV, Catch the Fire. You can tune in 5, 6, 7 days a week.
Wow, that's
oh
awesome.
yeah, and here's the marvelous thing.
What's that?
We have 180 channels.
Wow, God bless you.
We done went on world. We
Wow.
on here.
Go
We
ahead,
on
go
here.
ahead.
We're
God
on the
bless you.
map.
God bless you.
God is doing it. So like I always say, don't hesitate, but donate. You know,
that's right.
don't feel that you if somebody don't worry about what they think or what they feel.
Sure.
Do what's in your heart. Again, this is Iron Sharpen Iron Men at the Round Table. My host, Pastor Eric Zettler, my brother, and Pastor Uritt, my host, and our minister Kevin Britt. Until we come again and see again, hey, peace.
Mix up culture with the kingdom.
Yeah, man. It's that new summertime anthem right here. This how we do for the kingdom.
Now we will swag down, boss down, let men get the devil out.
Start this nonsense. Let's go.
Mix up culture with the kingdom. We mix up culture with the kingdom. We mix up culture with the kingdom. We mix up culture with the kingdom. Mix it. Mix it. Mix it. Mix it. We mix up culture with the kingdom. We mix up culture with the kingdom.
Yeah, made new, done with the old. I'm a walking lyrical scroll. No manuscript, this a godly script. I see she.
You've been listening to Catch the Fire TV, CTF TV, a place where gospel and God's word is heard.